Sup guys, this is Martin from clearyourmind.org. Hemoglobin is super important to transport oxygen into your cells. When you transport oxygen into your cell, you can use that to make energy. But you don't want to have too much hemoglobin, because if you have too much hemoglobin, your blood gets thick. Hemoglobin makes up your blood plasma, and your blood plasma is thicker than water. And so if you have a higher ratio of blood plasma to water, you will have a thicker blood or a higher viscosity. And if your blood is higher viscosity, your heart has to pump harder to transport the same amount of blood around in your body. And when your heart has to pump harder, it will eventually grow, and you will get something that is called left ventricular hypertrophy, which means that your heart grows and eventually it will stop working prematurely because your heart is not meant to be that big. Also, when you transport something that is thicker through your arteries and veins, the pressure on the artery walls is going to be higher, which means that you're going to create microscopic holes in your arteries, and cholesterol has to come to that place and like patch up the small holes. But if you get too much holes and therefore too much cholesterol, eventually the blood won't be able to get past, and you will have a heart attack or a stroke eventually. And the thicker the blood is, you also have to have a higher pressure, so your blood pressure will go up, and all the metabolic diseases and negative effects that are associated with having a higher blood pressure comes with that. So in the medical community, there's not been a really established way to lower your hemoglobin. They just say that you can donate blood, or that you can, if you can't donate blood for any reason, you can get a prescription for a phlebotomy, which means that you draw blood into a bag and then you discard the bag into the paper bin. And therefore you lower your hemoglobin because you lowered your amount of blood in the body. But what I've found is that when you do it that way, you don't solve the real underlying issue, because your body is still going to produce more hemoglobin again. So just a couple of days after you've donated, your hemoglobin will be back at the same level again, because your body is trying to keep homeostasis. So I have never seen it worked for anyone to solve the real issue. After a lot of research, I've come to the conclusion that the only thing that I've found to work is B1, also known as thiamine. So thiamine, first of all, chelates to iron. So the iron that you have in your body, B1 or thiamine, goes in and takes that iron and pulls it out of your body. So therefore you're going to lower your iron stores in your body, and iron is needed to make hemoglobin. So if you lower your iron, you will also lower your hemoglobin. And second of all, if you don't have enough thiamine, you can't make the enzyme that takes oxygen from the hemoglobin and puts it into the cell. So you will have a lot of hemoglobin floating around in your body, but you can't make it go into the cell, so you can't make energy from it. So your body thinks that it's anemic, even though it's not. It's just it's missing the enzyme to put the oxygen into the cells so it can make energy. It's called pseudoanemia. So you get all the negative effects from having actual anemia, which is low iron, but you don't have low iron. It's just that you can't get it into the cell. So if you take aspirin, you can start to pull out the iron and therefore lower your hemoglobin levels. And also aspirin helps your mitochondria to work better because it's a mitochondrial uncoupler, so you can make more energy if you take aspirin as well. But the most important thing is actually B1. It's needed to get oxygen to the right places in the body, and like literally everyone on Earth nowadays is deficient in B1 thiamine. And because it's not in our soil anymore, our soil doesn't have the nutrients that it did back in the days. And like some countries actually know this because a lot of people got beriberi diseases from thiamine deficiency. So they started adding B1 into things like flour and milk products and that people generally eat. But if you, even if you eat those things, you're still not going to get enough B1 because if you had a deficiency and you've used up a lot of B1, you could need upwards of 10 grams of B1 a day. And it's not dangerous for the body to have such high doses because B1 is a water-soluble vitamin, so you can just urinate out the things, the B1 that you can't use. But you need high doses to tell your body that you actually have enough. You can start all the processes that you've been putting on hold because now you have enough B1. So B1 is super important. Share this video with someone who has high hemoglobin. Share this video with someone who might be on hormone replacement that aggravates this issue. Thank you for listening, and see you next time.